Thanks for watching AskReddit. If you're new to the channel, please take a few seconds to subscribe. New videos are posted daily and I need friends. Subscribe, bless. People of Reddit, what is something that is considered taboo but shouldn't be? Clocking out on time. Sucks for the US and Asian countries. Everywhere else the employer practically kicks you out when office hours are over. And Australia depends on the employer I've found. In Australia at least, I've had one where everyone left on time, one where everyone stayed overtime, and one where we had to sign out, then continue working. Sign out and continue working. You mean working while you're off the clock? Don't think they can legally make you do that. Sounds super shady. When I worked at EB Games, your shift ended when the store closed, but you were expected to remain at least half an hour or more to clean up the store for the next day. Off the clock. If you wanted to leave on time they couldn't stop you, but you could kiss any future shifts goodbye. A friend of mine was a manager at one in the early 2000s and he was there until 1 AM one night setting up for a sale the next day. When the regional manager came in, he tore him apart for not doing it well enough and told he should have gotten staff to help. When he complained he didn't have enough hours to pay those staff for that, he was told that was his problem for not managing well enough. That is, bullying staff into working for free. Do you think EB will last much longer? Or will Amazon JB-Hi-Fi be the death of them? The writing has been on the wall for years. As Steam grew in popularity, their PC section shrank. As people move towards digital games for consoles as well, we can expect to see retail game sales begin to dip. That said, EB has expanded into collectibles in a big way with their Zing brand for those items that you can't download. I think that and collector's editions of major game releases will sustain them for a few more years, but they probably need to scale down operations to stay in business. Maybe I'm pushing the timeline a bit far, but I think in 10 years EB will be more of a hobbyist store similar to where comic book stores are now. They'll do steady trade but need to accept that they peaked about 10 years ago and aren't going to hit that high again. Yeah, I knew it was wrong but didn't want to complain as no one else did, I guess. I was young at the time and it was my first job, so I was a little unsure with what to do. Just went along with it. Makes sense they would take advantage of the young. Oh my god, yes. I get to work at 7 AM and my entire team is there. I leave at 4:15. Working an extra 15 minutes than necessary, and my entire team is still sitting there, silently watching me leave. I have a young child that's getting older every day. Emails can wait. Why don't they leave too? They live there. They don't leave. You can clock out anytime you like, but you can never leave. Teaching sex education in schools in a way that acknowledges reality. Alright kiddos, you sure are wondering why Mr. Hammond's joined us in today's lesson. There's a scene at Monty Python's The Meaning of Life that describes the exact scenario you just proposed. Sex in general. Everyone does it and those who don't desperately want to. I know the shame and the illicitness makes it hotter, sure, but how good would it be to just go? Anyone up for a fuck and just get a look and a nod and get it over with? You could bring it up without coming off as a perverted, attention whoring duckwit. Gays would probably be more accepted. Everyone would be better at it, cause you can just ask for advice and tips. I was raised slightly Catholic, wasn't very religious, but didn't have sex till I was 27. I could not believe how they made such a big deal out of something that felt so sweet and natural. A friend of mine once said to me that being interested in someone only for the sex is sexist. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people out there that think this way. We all approach one another because of interest, whether it's money, friendship, something professional, a favor. There's nothing wrong with approaching someone because I only want a duck and that's it. And there's nothing wrong with someone doing the same with me. It's 2019 for duck's sake. There's nothing wrong as long as you are upfront. The problem arises when people manipulate others for sex by making promises they don't intend to deliver on. Oh, I definitely took sex worry too seriously. I took everything too seriously. I was majorly suicidal for about 13 years. I decided not to try anything with anyone until I was past it. Looking back on it, it might have been better to get into that stuff way earlier. I would have felt a lot better about myself if I had opened up and let myself be loved. On the other hand, I don't think I would have dealt with breakups as well and would never want to put the pressure of if I leave he might do something I'd regret on anyone. Having fun by yourself. Whether it's going out to a nice restaurant, seeing a movie, going on vacation, or anything else, people think that you need your mates around to have fun. Some people would even say you're not allowed to have fun without them. I went to a concert by myself recently and it was amazing. More fun than any other show I've seen because I didn't need to think about my friends. A step further, I went to a music festival alone. I just saw every single artist I liked without worrying about my friends being tired, hungry or wanting to see another artist. It was amazing. I really love going with friends to BTW. Going to festivals alone is the best shit in the world. Also keep in mind, there was a thread on here that was like women, where do you want to be approached, and one of the top answers was festivals or concerts. Now that may have just been upvoted by men, but something to think about. It's a stimulating environment. I usually rarely duck except at festivals. I focus on my career most other time of the year, so yeah, definitely pick me up at a festival, especially if I've had a couple of beers and you now look like a 9 instead of a 7. 2 weeks ago I went to a festival with friends, but on the Sunday I basically spent the full day myself. No, I am not just gonna come with you all for the sake of being around you. I want to see X and Y. I've gone to festivals by myself and don't mind it just because you get lost in the crowd. For me, doing things like that solo is generally hard because I feel I stand out when I'm solo in a music festival. I can just blend in. Went to the movies by myself and it was so peaceful. I loved it. I go to the movies by myself all the time. I don't understand the social stigma with it. It's not like you can interact with anyone during the movie anyway. Got back from a solo trip to Hawaii recently. Luckily, all the people I talked there to who found out I was alone were really cool about it. But there is definitely still a strong expectation of traveling with others. The very first question everyone asked me when I got home was, who did you go with? It's always seemed so strange to me, too, because I grew up on Rick Steves' show about traveling 80s 90s Europe solo. It had never really occurred to me that most people are still stuck on this idea that anywhere outside the continental US inexplicably requires a traveling partner. Honestly, sometimes you just want to be alone and not inside your house. All I want is to grab an outside table at a decent restaurant, eat oysters, and drink rosé while staring at my phone and watching people walk by. Went on my first solo trip earlier this year and it was awesome. I got to spend the whole week not having to worry about what anyone else wanted to do or where anyone else wanted to eat. No fighting or getting sick of being around travel companions either. Not being religious. That's a reason to openly admit you don't discuss religion with anyone. Some, not all, religious people have a tendency to belittle anything that doesn't agree with their god. I'm religious and I have no problem with atheists. Alright then. I was helping some customers to their car one day a few months ago. I was a bagger at a grocery store, and they were talking about their Sunday church. Then they asked me, are you saved? And I asked for clarification and they just said, are you saved in the eyes of the Lord? Luckily I'm baptized, so I just said, verbatim, oh yeah, I'm Catholic, baptized and all of that stuff. Honestly, it kinda creeped me out to hear them ask that, cause I was really worried about what they would have said or done if I had said, oh no, I'm atheist. Still don't talk to anyone about religion cause of that. Totally understandable. I've went to church since I was a baby. I've been baptized and everything. I didn't start turning away from church until my mom started forcing me to go. I'm from a small town in North Carolina, so you're automatically expected to be a Christian. I have struggled with this my whole life, but I believe it shouldn't matter what your religion is, although I do tell people I'm a Christian in fear of being judged around here. I'm religious and I find I get it the other way. You're not one of those idiot Bible bumpers, right? Like, dude, I didn't once bring up anything about church or the Bible. I guess I give off the edgy atheist vibe or something. Edit. I think this can be expanded to just be religion or lack thereof in general. It shouldn't matter what I believe in or what you believe in. Northwestern Europe. Allow us to introduce ourselves. Sex toys for men. My ex had a drawer for her dildos and plugs. She finds my fleshlight and has to talk to me about it for an hour. Good God, talk about a double standard. If I had a boyfriend and I found his fleshlight, I would be more interested in how in the hell he washes those things. Like, is there a disposable cup inside of them or some shit? So, I sullied my browser history to do an image search for DIY fleshlight. Don't ever do what I've done. Got a similar story? Share it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to AskReddit for your daily dose of r/Reddit goodness. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.